Guess who's
Hey,
back?
hey, hey.
Welcome to Wednesday night OWCP chats with Chris and Genie.
Nice. I don't know what was funny about that, but we're happy to have you back and we're glad to be back. We were off last week. We were
Uh,
in 118-degree temperatures in Phoenix. We didn't melt
yes.
all the way, and sadly, I didn't lose any more weight.
You know
Thought
how
I
it is?
would.
Yeah, you know how it is when you open an oven and you kind of wait a few minutes? That's what it felt
Yeah.
like. This heat
Or
and
like having a blow dryer on your face on high heat.
it was, and then we heard from our TSA friends that August gets to 122 to 126, and he goes, "That's what's hot." I'm thinking we're boiling at 115, 116.
And so, those of you that know me know I like to do some gambling. I don't consider myself a gambler because I like to play the odds. And I don't play for fun, I play to win. But I am a fan of over unders, and I said, and every time I go out west in the summertime, I always say, like, what's the over under on the number of people that are going to say, well, yeah, but it's a dry heat. I had it at 8 this time, and I stopped counting at 12. And let me tell you something. I don't care if it's a dry heat or if it's humid or whatever. It was 118. Okay, that's just hot. And anyways, it was a very great trip. We got to see our friends
Yeah, we
that
got
we
to
hadn't seen
see
in a while from
we
TSA.
got TSA state in Nevada, Arizona, and TSA state with California.
And I think we got invited to do some trainings.
Yes.
So I'm super excited. And that was our whole point of be there, is see if there's any new groups that want our help in training OWCP. And I think we found it.
Yep. So the mail handlers president and vice president we got to meet, and a shout out to Nick Mozar for that introduction.
Always coming through, Nick. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and so the president there, Bernie and Sean, wants us to come out September 6th.
Back to Phoenix, September 6th. I bet it's still going to be hot.
Yeah, it's probably going to.
Yeah.
That we're going to do a state convention for all his stewards and local presidents.
It'll be indoors in the air conditioning, though, so I could probably tolerate it.
Yep. And what else did we get to do? Oh, and then we met with the Phoenix FLIOA, the federal law enforcement officers president.
She was super
real
interesting.
sweet,
She's
Melissa.
with the IRS, but
Yeah.
in the investigative department. So it was really interesting listening to some of the stories she told. I was really glad that I wasn't on her list.
Yeah, we were laughing and making jokes with her. But shout out to Melissa, Bernie, Sean, Juan, Bobby, and all the TSA guys out there.
Well, Bernie and Sean, I know you mentioned it, but man, it's like we just clicked instantly, like we were friends already.
Yeah, it was,
and that was super cool.
It was great. Yeah, they were so excited that we're there. We're gonna be there to train. The training is free, and now their members can get taken care of while they're in Phoenix.
And for those of you out there that would like us to come train, let me just say this is not a sales presentation. When I come out, I train OWCP.
Yeah.
I don't try to promote federal injury centers. I'll tell you about Wednesday night OWCP chats because it's a training platform. But it's not a sales presentation. It's not a marketing presentation. It's a legitimate, very strong, probably strongest of all time OWCP training.
Yeah,
Nobody's ever done it better or stronger or longer. And I like to do that because, the saying knowledge is power.
Yeah.
That's one thing. But the other thing is if you wait until you need it to get the knowledge, it's too late.
And, and I feel bad, but I mean, there was a few presidents that we met prior to that had invited certain people to come out and train, and they just didn't like the training. So moving forward, there will only be Chris and I coming to these state conventions, no one else. So we can guarantee the training is going to be top notch.
Yeah. Well, it's not just because I'm the one doing it, but because I'm the one doing it, it will be top notch.
Yeah. So moving forward, if there's somebody else saying that they're representing us or anything like that, they're not anymore. That won't be happening anymore moving forward.
Shout out to Eunice and Jill. Hello. You're both here. Glad
Hi.
you're here. Everyone, thank you for saying hello.
Right now in Florida, we have such bad allergies. So if you think we're crying, we're not. We're sniffling away.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Tonight, we're going to talk about the 10
not 10 biggest, but 10 lies that you hear in OWCP.
Yes, the 10 lies you hear in OWCP, yes.
And this is sort of like a Mythbusters session because these are things you're told all the time, and there are 10 of them. I'm imagining that by the time I get through all 10, I'll have 2 or 3 more, like bonus lies that you hear all the time.
Bonus lies.
But I just don't want you to hear the lie and say, okay, because like it's unbelievable how many people listen to what Jeannie and I tell you and say, well, that's not what my supervisor said, so I'm just going to do what they say.
Oh, before you go, I remember that this lady called. I can't even remember where she was from. And she said, can you tell me how many days I have to file my CA1 claim? And I said, well, what did you hear? And she said 30 days. And I said, well, no, it's 3 years. Then she stopped, paused for a couple minutes, and said, well, no, that's not what my supervisor said. He said 30 days. So I'm going to go with what my supervisor said. No joke. In 3 months, she called me back.
Yeah.
And then she was like, I'm sorry I doubted you. Well, it's not I'm making it. I'm not making it up,
Sandra, hello. Frank, what's up, Frank?
How are you, Frank?
So, yeah, I'm going to talk to you about 10 lies that you hear in OWCP, and I'm going to tell you why they're lies. And I think this is going to stir up some really good conversation. If any of you have heard these lies, I'd love you to comment about it. Try to be brief. If you write a novel, it makes it really hard for us to read it. But if you can keep it to 2 or 3 sentences and just kind of give us the Cliff Notes version, I'd love to hear it. And I think everyone else would too. So as I tell you the 10 lies, and it'll probably extend to 12 or 13, I would love your feedback on those of you that have heard these lies. This is going to be a fun night. My point in this topic was to have some fun with OWCP. It's a boring topic. And I always say this is the most boring topic that I can make super sexy. So hopefully this will be sexy and fun tonight.
Hello, Chris and Jeannie. This is the biggest Notre Dame fan, wink, wink, from Princeton, Texas.
Man, I'm so happy you're here. I love having number 2 on my show tonight. So welcome back, number 2 Notre Dame fan. I would be number 1.
Much love from Staten Island.
Oh,
what's going on?
We love Staten Island.
Lewis, I'm not a Notre Dame fan, just to let you know.
Yes, she is.
I'm from
She's
Utah.
secretly a Notre Dame fan. She doesn't know anything about football, so it doesn't really matter.
I know, but I am a University of Utah and BYU fan. That's all I have to say.
I'm a University of Utah fan too. 2 reasons. 1, my wife is a cheerleader there. 2, they're the only school that is UU. So that's pretty cool. But go Irish. I'm sorry. Like every one of you are secretly Irish fans if you're not like out of the closet.
If you're trying to look for our page, now we are just on 3 pages. 1, Facebook, Wednesday night OWCP chats with Chris and Jeannie right here. Second one is my personal Facebook page. And the reason everybody keeps asking me in our team, why is it going on your page? Because I have about 100 union pages that follow me from there, and I follow them as well. So those are the 2 Facebook pages. And of course, if you don't want to be on social media, you can find us on YouTube, Wednesday night OWCP chats with Chris and Jeannie live right now.
But I have news.
Kataja, is that how you say it? Can I see that right?
Kajada?
It's a pretty name.
It's hard to pronounce your name, but it's beautifully spelled.
But they're from YouTube.
Yeah, it's beautifully spelled.
Yes.
Yeah, but I have news for you. YouTube is social media too. So those of you that say I hate social media, but you go to YouTube, you're on social media.
Yes. So
Maria, howdy.
Let's get. Oh, hi, Maria.
And Mary, good evening to you as well.
So if you're just hopping on and you didn't hear, we just got back from Phoenix, 1,000 degrees, and we will be in Phoenix again September 6th for the state mail handlers convention with stewards and I guess local presidents. So if you are in Phoenix and you are part of the mail handlers union, talk to Bernie.
And all of you are in unions that have OWCP representatives that do classes. Attend those classes for sure.
You should.
You need more information, not less. But when you have an opportunity to hear mine, I hope you'll take it because we have a lot of fun with OWCP.
Yeah. So let's get started. The 10 biggest lies you hear in OWCP.
They're not the 10 biggest.
I keep saying that. I know.
It's okay because there's so many that if I did all the lies, I would need help. Like I would need to phone a friend to get all the lies. But
we should write a book on all the OWCP lies. That would be the last book.
I didn't think I was going to write another one, but this may be it.
This is the last book.
The last book until the next last book.
All right, let's get started.
All right, lie number 1. You have to treat with a doctor from the panel. What's the panel? So OWCP has a provider portal where you can go in and find a doctor. Here's the problem, and this is not why it's a lie, but here's why that's a problem. That panel of doctors consists of, among other things, doctors who have ever billed OWCP even one time. So they billed it. They probably didn't get paid because the claim wasn't accepted, but they billed it. And OWCP went, wow, cool. Let's add another doctor to the list.
Yep.
And then you call that doctor on the list after you go through like 12 pages of doctors and you still have no or what's OWCP,
Right.
or we don't take workers' comp, or whatever. So that list is wildly flawed because it's not filled with doctors who want to help you. And that's too bad. But why it's a lie that you have to choose the doctor from that panel is because the law is written in like multiple places that says you have the right to choose your own doctor. You don't have to go to that panel. You can. You absolutely can go through the maximum hassle of going through pages and pages and pages of doctors to find nobody that will say yes to you. You can do that. I don't recommend it, but you don't have to go anywhere you don't want to go. And that's why it's a lie. If someone says go just check, you have to go check that provider portal. No, you don't. You can go anywhere you want. I suggest going to Google and you search OWCP injury doctor in your city and state. If you say OWCP injury doctor, and like we're in Tampa, and OWCP injury doctor, Tampa, Florida. Well, what's going to happen is you're going to find all the doctors who want to be found by you.
Yeah.
Because they've gone out of their way to put those terms on their website on purpose.
Whether it's us or another federal clinic.
Yeah, and we encourage you to go wherever you want to go. That's a beautiful thing about OWCP is the law is absolute. You have the right to choose. And so because we follow the law in every possible way, that's another one. We say go where you want to go, even if it's not us. Just keep coming back to chats and learning what you're learning.
Yep.
But go wherever you want. So lie number one is you do not have to go to the doctor on the doctor's portal there.
Especially if the supervisors are telling you to go somewhere.
Yeah, and the supervisors have no right to tell you.
They don't.
You, however...
Sorry, supervisors.
But you do have a right to accept the recommendation. You can go there if you want to, but it is your choice, not the supervisors.
And a lot of people believe whatever the supervisor says, which I'm sure sometimes they're truthful, but an OWCP doesn't seem that way.
Surely 2% of the time.
Yes, they're going to they're going to tell you to go to a walk-in urgent care. Fine, go. And then find another federal clinic to go to.
Chris Paula Brown said, "Good evening, guys. I'm glad I found you guys. Thank you for doing what you do." Yeah, hey, we're glad you found us too. Please follow and tell your friends. Not enough people know about us yet, so we're glad you're here. Thank you.
Jenna said, "Hello, guys. I haven't gotten on a chance to watch for a few weeks. Glad to catch this one."
Glad you're back, Jenna.
Maria, howdy.
Howdy, Maria. It's super humid there.
What did Mary say?
Connecticut.
The right to choose the doctors, PT, and facilities. Yes,
you
Mary. Choose all of that.
And in fact, just a side note, in our Federal Injury Center's offices, every reception room has a list of compliance rules because we follow all the rules no matter what. But one of our compliance rules says you can go anywhere you want to therapy. Even though we do it here, you can go where you want to go.
Yeah.
I tell people that. I'm like, wait, are you trying to run a business? Or are you trying to kill your business?
And we understand a lot of you go there and it's taking you hours to get there. You know, I mean, we're not expecting you to drive 4 hours round trip to go for PT 2 to 3 times a week.
We just can't tolerate you having a denied claim. So we want to fix that. All right. Line number 2.
Line number 2.
You can't file a claim unless you report the injury right away.
Is that true, guys?
You didn't report the injury when it happened, so you can't file a claim. You know what happens is a lot of your supervisors try to punish you in some way, write you up, whatever, because you didn't report right away.
Yeah.
But the law gives you, check this out, they give you 7 days to report so you can still have a CA-16, 30 days so you can still get COP, and 3 years just in case you didn't know about anything and you found out later.
Right.
So you actually have 3 years from the date of injury to report an injury. Your supervisors try to penalize you when you don't report, and then they try to penalize you or punish you when you do report. So it's the rock and the hard place. But the second lie is that you can't file a claim unless you report the injury right away. Well, that's crap. You have 3 years. And if it's a CA2 claim that happened over a period of time, you have 3 years from the date you realized it was work-related. And that's probably when a doctor said so.
Yeah, but we always advise you, just file it now and just put it. If you can't go today, tomorrow, or whatever, at least it's filed and it's documented.
So if anybody's got questions as they go, please bring them. We're happy to answer your questions, just so you know, especially if you're new here. We answer questions here too.
Maria said lie.
Lie. Exactly. All right, number 3. Lie number 3. You can't file a CA2 or CA1 for mental stress or harassment.
That's BS, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Let me tell you
it's
something.
Not a lie. You can.
So mental health conditions are covered in OWCP. We have heard of people that have been held up at gunpoint.
Yes.
That have witnessed murders, that were in horrific accidents while on the job. Those are CA1 conditions that could have mental health implications.
Yeah.
Those will be covered if the doctor knows how to get them covered. Some things develop over time. You just take, whatever the stressor is, and it happens over a period of time. That would be a CA2. But these are covered. Those CA2s are more difficult, but they're not impossible.
No.
But your lie that you're told is that you can't file a claim for that. Well,
No.
of course you can. The problem right now is there's not enough doctors that'll help you.
Yeah, that's the sad part.
For now.
Todd Overstreet. I was contacted by Amy and Deborah, and I appreciate your help with getting me connected and feel truly blessed to have been led to you and both Deborah and Amy. Aw,
Yeah,
you're so
Todd. And
welcome.
I've known.
I'm the one that, if anybody's a messaging on Messenger on chats, that's me. Because some of you will be like, well, I want to talk to the girl on chats. This is the girl.
Yeah, that's her. People are always surprised when it's actually her. I've known Deborah for probably 18 years, and she's been a pit bull since the first day I ever met her.
She's so cute, too.
She's fantastic.
Yeah, she's so sweet, and she's very knowledgeable.
Yeah, and she's loyal. And I'm learning these days that there's almost no substitute for loyalty. I think many of you out there will agree with that.
Christine said, I have heard of this. Well, yeah, all these lies that Chris is talking about, I'm sure every single one of you have heard at least one of these lies that he's talking about.
So lie number 4, if your claim is denied, you're done.
You're done, folks.
That's it. Game
That's
over.
it.
That's all she wrote.
Yeah, you filed your claim for nothing.
Oh, it's too bad. You got a denial. Oh my gosh, nobody gets denials. It must be over.
Yeah, and then the supervisor tells you what? Oh, well, you got to come back to work.
Yeah, and
Can't do anything.
and you got to pay back your COP. Oh, that's too bad.
Lie.
All of it's a lie. Now, look, you will eventually have to pay back COP if you're not ultimately approved.
Right.
But do you know that since 2007, with more than probably 15,000 claims I've been involved with since 2007, I've never had a single person who paid back COP.
Yeah, he always says that.
How's that possible? That you've never paid? Nobody in 15,000 plus people have ever paid back COP? Why is that? Because we win. And winning is the cure for having to reimburse COP. But the lie is that if your claim gets denied, you're done. No, you're not. There's, multiple different ways, 4 different ways.
Side note.
4 different ways to do
an appeal,
appeals. Thank you so much. Appeals.
1, file reconsideration.
Well, reconsideration is our personal favorite because it allows our doctors to read your denial letter and then write a rebuttal. And then that goes in with your reconsideration, and they will reconsider it. You have 12 months to appeal. But you can do an oral hearing, a review of the written record, or even ECAB. Now, those are things that I think are better suited for unions, truthfully, or for a lawyer. But for the reconsideration, it's perfect for a doctor's office. And so that's why we use it. But if your claim is denied, sometimes that's a gift because every denial letter says specifically your claim is denied because, and then they tell you. So it's like easy to fix because they told you what's wrong.
You know what? Here's the funny thing. We actually spoke about this when we met Bernie and Sean last week. Mm-hmm. He said, what do you guys do with denials? And we're like, you file for reconsideration. And he just they both kind of just stared at us for a couple of minutes saying, oh. And then Chris started explaining they have 12 months before it dies.
Maria said that there was a VP at a previous job that said, if you want loyalty, get a dog. I'll tell you what, Maria, if you want loyalty, just call Chris. I will be loyal to the end. It's one of my, I don't know if it's a superpower or a weakness. I have a loyalty complex. I love loyalty.
Wow, Maria, that what a butt face. Yeah. Frank said it happened to me held up at gunpoint. That's why I dropped my mouth when I was like,
yeah, Frank,
what?
Man. And look,
and you're in New York.
I hope you're okay. And I don't know anything about that, but I hope you're okay. But that is a prime example of something that could be a CA1.
Yeah. Because if it's stress, PTSD, which that would cause me PTSD for sure.
Me too. But some people are like rocks and they can just take anything. I'm not one of them.
Let's see.
Yeah, Jill, the book site is under construction. I'm really sorry. Hang in there with me.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. Okay, so a denied claim is not the end. Sometimes it's just the beginning.
So remember, it's not the end.
Yep. All right, lie number 5. Lie number 5.
What's the lie?
You can't get treatment unless your claim is accepted first. Well, that's a lie. How do I know? Well, we have 60 offices. We've helped in our franchise 10,000 people, and we've never delayed treatment even once. And don't you know, claims aren't accepted on the first day. And nobody cares because the claims examiner will just decide not to pay us if they don't want to.
Yeah.
But you don't get penalized as a doctor's office for doing treatment. So that's a lie. You can start treatment right away. And when you have a CA16, any doctor can treat you and get paid if they care about the money. See, at Federal Interest Centers, we don't care about that. We tell you to get a 16 because it's good for you to have it.
For another doctor's
Right, because we don't
office.
control the imaging centers and we don't control the surgeons and whatever else, other specialists. But we don't care if you have a 16. But that's what a CA16 is for. It is so that you can begin getting treatment right away. And the cool thing is, if your claim is denied, you don't have to pay it back. So it is a lie that you can't start treatment right away. Anybody that tells you that does not understand OWCP.
I want to read this question from Kajata. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. I totally apologize. Can you change? I laughed because of what she said. Can you change doctors in the middle of reconsideration? Let's say the recipient went with an incompetent doctor from the beginning and wants to switch to your doctors.
So OWCP does have a system that is a change of treating doctor system. You have to write a letter to your claims examiner explaining why you want to change doctors and who you want to change to. The problem is they don't have to approve it. If you went with a specialist up front, they'll almost never approve it.
But she's saying in the middle of reconsideration.
And I'm saying at any time, this is the answer, including middle of reconsideration. So what you would want to do if they deny your change of treating doctor. One solution is you can ask your current doctor to write a referral to another doctor. And all referrals from OWCP are approved. You could also ask your doctor to write a letter to the claims examiner requesting to be removed from the claim. And some doctors want to because they're not getting paid because it's not approved.
Right.
And they may want to do that. That frees you up to find a new doctor. The other thing, and this isn't my favorite answer, but it is an answer that I give all the time. This is a Chrisism. If you're stuck at a red light, what are you going to do? It never turns green.
You have to run it with looking for oncoming traffic, but you run it.
So, the only penalty you'll get for going to another doctor is they may not pay the claim. They may not pay your mileage, but you might get your claim approved. And so to me, that's invaluable. I think it's your life. You got to do whatever it takes to win in your life.
See, and it's like Tiffany said, yes, you can, as long as you're in the window of the 1 year mark.
Yeah, but she's right, but they can still deny it. But you always have an opportunity to try to change doctors. Just have a good reason.
Johnetta, who do I get a CA16 form from? A lot of people ask this
Christine
question.
answered it properly. The supervisor. Yeah, the only place you can get a CA16 is from management, maybe HR, but it's got to be a management person.
Yeah, it can't come from our office either.
Yeah, I mean, if you brought us a CA16 that's not filled out, that goes to the trash. It's no good. If we hand it to you, we're violating the law, so we can't do that. You have to get it from management.
Yeah.
You can't even find it online unless you go to apwu.org and search for a CA16, and I guarantee you're going to find it there. Thank you, APW.
John Reverend said, "What up?" We actually talked about you last week with Bobby. Bobby's like, he's a good guy. And I said, he is if we had gotten to meet him in person.
Yeah, well, I mean, TSA is a busy place.
Yeah.
All right, line number 6. Line number 6. You have to go back to work if your supervisor says so. You got to go back to work if your supervisor says so, people. That's a lie. So here's the deal. Return to work is a medical decision. Medical decision, and your supervisor does not have a medical license. Now, if your claim's not approved, your supervisor can give you all kinds of hassle. Okay, they can harass you to no end, and that's why your unions are so powerful. Your unions can grieve the harassment. Mm-hmm. They can push back when you're getting pushed. That's why I always say get involved with your unions. That's so important because as powerful as it is to get the information you get from me, as powerful as it is to be able to have access to our doctors that can get your claim approved, we can't cross the line over to where your unions can.
Right.
And you need them to fight for you. So if you are not a member of your union, get to be that way as soon as possible because when you need it, it's too late. So I recommend it. It's a strong recommendation for me because I've been involved in almost, 15,000 claims over the years. And I know that people that get a CA16, elect COP, they report on time, they choose the right doctor, they write their own employee statement, and they're involved in their unions. Those people have the most success. It's the fact.
Yeah.
And I know that because I've been involved in more cases than everybody else in the country combined.
I think so.
So if you have an opportunity to get involved with your union, you should. And some people say, my stewards are no good. Great, become one. Become one. Because the next steward training class I'm in or I'm teaching, you'll be in it. It'll be awesome. Your HR injury specialist gives you the CA-16. Yeah, Eunice, in some cases, in some agency, that's who gives it to you. In some agencies, it's the supervisor. Your responsibility is to request it. Their responsibility is to give it to you within 4 hours of the claimed injury.
Jenna said, I had someone call me today asking if they can pass my number to a fellow injured worker because of all the things I've learned from you guys. I'm confident in passing on the information. When they do call, my first tip will be the Federal Injury Center. You guys help so many. Thanks for all you do. Oh, that's so
Well,
sweet.
thanks, Jenna. And as long as we're doing a good job, I hope you'll do that. If we start doing a bad job, I hope you'll forget us.
And then Eunice said, if you're being harassed by your supervisor, file an EEO, claim for disability discrimination. And we tell everybody
Yeah.
to follow, I mean, all the different crafts and the different agencies, they're all different, but definitely this.
Yeah, I had a state president for one of the unions here in Florida tell me that a few years ago when I was writing this, this first book. He said, "Hey, write about EEOs." So it's one of the things. It's one of your remedies.
Yeah.
It's definitely a good remedy. It helps to have your union's backing for that, though.
But and then we also hear that when I do that, I don't get any help from the union. Call the next level up.
Call somebody else.
Call the state president. Call the national. Call somebody else.
Remember that wonderful steward from APW in Alabama, in Birmingham, who helped a rural carrier.
Oh yeah.
So ask somebody else. There's going to be somebody who wants to help. That was a beautiful thing, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
All right, line number 7. There's no witness, so you can't file a claim. There's no witness. You can't even prove it. There's no witness. Okay, the box 16 of the CA1 says witness statement. Unfortunately, it's almost always blank. Almost always blank. Now, imagine you get hurt and your friends turn their back on you. Imagine your friend gets hurt, you turn your back on your friend.
Yeah. How would you like that?
Be a witness,
Yeah.
get a witness. Do it. With that said, in the nearly 15,000 claims or more than 15,000 claims that I've been a part of, almost all of them did not have witness statements. How in the world did we get them all approved? How do we get all these claims approved with no witness statement? You don't need it.
Right.
But it is so important to get it because it can prevent a fight that's unnecessary. So get a witness statement. But if you don't have one, your claim can still be approved because the doctor holds all the weight in an OWCP claim.
Yeah, and I want to bring this up. Long story short, Chris, tell them about Gilbert.
Yeah, well,
don't say where.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So Gilbert was injured, and 8 years after his injury, I met him. We found out that he needed a better doctor, so we had one. And he needed a witness statement. But the person that witnessed it was the person he lifted when he got hurt. And that was 8 years ago. And they found that man from 8 years ago. And that man from 8 years ago wrote a witness statement on a separate piece of paper, turned it in. And the combination of the witness statement and the new doctor got the claim approved 8 years later.
And we did a training at the VA once.
Yep.
And this is how we were able to help him with this claim. Because Chris is like, well, didn't you pick somebody up? Isn't that why your back is messed up?
I said, did you lift a bag of rocks?
Yeah,
No, it was a human.
Was that, yeah.
It was a human. All right, let's find this person. If he's not dead,
yeah,
we're getting a witness statement.
And that VA president worked really hard, found the witness, and his claim got approved.
We'll always love Jennifer.
Yeah.
All right. Line number 8. All you need is the injury report. In other words, a CA1 or 2. OWCP will take care of the rest. That's all you need. As long as you just fill out your CA1 or CA2 and get that e-comp, you're good to go. Your claim will never get approved if all you do is turn in your CA1 or 2. If all you do is turn in a CA17 or all you do is turn in an office note from a doctor, it's not going to get approved. You need a medical narrative report that can definitively describe and explain how your injury happened and how it's related to the job. You need that. Sometimes your supervisor is saying, just let's fill this out and you'll be okay. No, you won't. That's like step 2. Step 1 is report. Step 2 is fill out the form. Step 3 is find a doctor. Step 4 is get a narrative and send that in by e-comp. So you're not going to get your claim approved just because you filled out the forms perfectly. You got to find a good doctor, which is why you got to go back and to the point of you can choose your own doctor. You got to find one who understands how to write these reports, because if they don't know how to write the reports, your claim's never getting approved, ever. And all denied claims are the fault of the doctor unless you don't do your part, which is go to the right doctor.
Chris Paul Brown said, can I put multiple occupational diseases on a single CA2? If not, why does each occupational disease need its own CA2? Well, good question.
So this is a medical determination, just so you know. But let's say you have, I don't know, 5 CA2s. You have 5 occupational diseases. You have 5 things that developed over time. Well, you have to get a medical evaluation to determine how those 5 things happened. Maybe 2 of them happened the same way and 3 happened 3 different other ways. And so you got 4 claims. The point I'm making is you have to group them in the way in which they happened. So if you have 5 and they happen 5 different ways, you got to have 5 different claims, which is a hassle, but that's how it goes. If you have 5 different injuries that happen all in the same way over the same period of time doing the same job, then you've got 1 claim. But this is a medical decision. So you've got to get in with a doctor, explain what happened, and let the doctor decide how to work this thing out.
Yep.
That was a great question, by the way.
Yeah,
Nobody's
that's what
ever
I
even
said.
asked that
I
question.
know, that's what I said. That was really great.
Nobody's ever asked that question.
No.
So that was, who asked that? That was a great question.
Chris Paula Brown.
Yeah, great job, Chris. All right. Are there any questions here?
No.
Okay.
I went through them.
We're almost through number 10. So that's how I know I'm going to get some more. Lie number 9. OWCP claims aren't worth it. Nobody wins. It's not even worth it to file a claim. Don't even try. It's such a hassle. You're never going to get your claim approved. Just don't.
It's so funny. When we first started doing this, how many people said that that's what their supervisors would say or their friends. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
A lot.
I was watching one of the Mission Impossibles, the Tom Cruise movies. I might be the biggest fan. But his little British friend that's always like super high strung and nervous.
Oh, yeah.
He goes, "It's mission impossible, not mission hard." So look, this thing it's difficult, but it's not impossible. Okay. And people do win. And I'm proof because we've got thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of approved claims.
Yeah.
For us, getting an approved claim is our way of life.
It's a mission for us.
It is our mission. That's a perfect way to put it. We are over 95% approved claims at any given time, and the other 5% is in process. We just win. So to say that it's not worth it, nobody wins. Well, okay, that's because 14% of federal employees have approved claims across the nation. But at federal interest centers, greater than 95% have approved claims. That's how you know, as I always say, another criticism, that's a clue that you can win. The key is going to the right doctor, having the right documentation, and following all the right steps and understanding the system. What are we laughing at?
I'm so sorry. I have to say, Chris has a movie line for everything. That's why I'm laughing. Like, I can't believe you brought up Mission Impossible right now.
That's true. I do have a movie line for everything. If somebody wants a recommendation for a good movie, I'll give you a list of 20.
There's
if you watch them all, your life will be better.
He will be on a serious meeting, on a Zoom meeting with it could be like an attorney or even a doctor, and he comes up. I hear him,
and I'll say, what Forrest Gump said: "Stupid is as stupid does."
He does. Everything he has a movie line for. He even does this to my parents.
And her dad has seen all the movies, so he gets all the jokes. All right, what other questions we have before I hit number 10?
All right, Maria Portal.
Because number 10 might be my favorite.
Maria Portal said, "It's so worth it, and it's true. Supervisors try and often succeed in keeping employees from filing."
Yeah, let me tell you something. Your supervisors sometimes tell the truth. We know some really fantastic supervisors. Yeah. John was one of them. We were just talking about John, right? I mean, we know some really fantastic supervisors that have your best interests and understand what management is all about. It's about taking care of people, and the people will in turn take care of you as a supervisor.
Right.
And they'll do a great job. People that are well taken care of by management are highly productive. They just do better all around and are happier. And then they actually refer their friends to come work there too. It's a beautiful situation. Unfortunately, the vast majority of supervisors are idiots, and they don't understand, and they're power hungry.
Right.
And they're have a self-confidence issue, and everyone's out to get them, and they're trying to take my job. I always say, nobody can take your job. No. You give it away.
Yeah, he says that.
You give it away. Nobody can take your job. If you're doing a good job, nobody can take it. People would be a fool to take your job.
We say that to our kids.
Yeah, supervisors are fools, though, and so they act like idiots, and I hate that because I'm a supervisor. I run a company. I have employees. I have a management degree. I have an entire management background. I have, in my career, employed and supervised hundreds of people with about a 3% turnover rate because my philosophy is love everybody. Your supervisors don't love anybody. Sometimes I wonder if they love themselves.
Oh my gosh.
So, anyways.
Jill, my orthopedic surgeon said that I would need an attorney to win my case for disability
Well, you're
percentages.
talking about a schedule award, and that may well be true. It's not 100%. There's not a rule on it, but the vast majority of these things will eventually require a lawyer. And
Yeah.
that's not by rule. That's just because the claims examiners are, I think, overwhelmed because there's so few of them and so many of you, and so they don't know what to do. So they send them out to second opinions, and the second opinion doctors screw stuff up, and you need a
And
lawyer to
yeah,
fix
and
it.
not every doctor really understands it because they go back and forth. One year it's the fifth edition, one year it's the sixth edition.
Now,
Oh,
if
let's go back to the sixth.
Now, if you decide you need one, we know all the best ones. We don't receive kickbacks for anything. If we refer you to a lawyer, you can go to another lawyer. We don't care. We receive nothing in exchange from these lawyers. Nothing, nothing, nothing. I told you in the beginning, we follow compliance like at the highest level. We don't have, this is our philosophy, just by the way. We don't say do the best you can.
Right.
Our philosophy is perfect compliance. So if we send you to somebody, you don't have to go there. But if you ask for a recommendation, we can make one.
Yeah, and there's just a handful of attorneys that do them.
So Lewis, a Notre Dame fan, said, "Are we covered medically for life even after retiring from the job?" Yeah, you are actually. As long as your claim is approved, anything that happens that is a result of that approved injury can be dealt with for the rest of your life.
It's cute. In 2018, I got a phone call. The guy was 89 years old and he asked this question, and all he wanted was to get physical therapy, nothing else, at 89 years old. So think about that.
Yeah. All right. So lie number 10. And on this list, it is my favorite lie.
Which one?
Lie number 10.
10? Okay.
If your agency doesn't believe you, OWCP is going to deny your claim. So let me tell you a story. If your agency doesn't believe you, let's narrow this down. If your supervisor says that it's not a legit injury, you're going to get denied. If your supervisor writes terrible things on the second page of the CA1, your claim will get denied, right? I'm just narrowing this thing down to make it small. Here's what happened. Gini and I were teaching a 3-hour OWCP course to a Department of Labor group from the AFGE.
Mhm.
And the president of this group was a senior claims examiner.
Yeah.
Who was an incredible guy. All right. He and I got along so well. There was at least one or two other claims examiners in the room, in the class. So I was teaching OWCP to claims examiners. That's a different story for a different time. But this president was cool, man. We hit it off so fast. He gave me some great pointers that I still teach today. Like everyone should elect COP.
Right.
Like that's what he said. Everyone should elect COP. What's the worst thing that can happen? They'll just come take your sick and annual leave later. Don't give it away. So that was a super great tip. Like I've been teaching this thing for years, and this guy gave me that tip. So that was a gold nugget. But in a break, I was talking to a couple of them, and they said, that thing you were saying about the supervisors that they write were like stupid things. I'm like, yeah. He said, we usually just roll our eyes at them because we know what they're doing.
That did happen.
They don't take that stuff seriously. So if your agency doesn't believe you, OWC people deny your claim. The truth is, from the claims examiners I know, if your supervisor doesn't believe you, the claims examiner is probably going, oh God, here we go again.
Yeah. So they know.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. The truth is, if you have a great medical narrative report and you didn't lie, and that's the rule, we don't see people lying about injuries. So you didn't lie about it. So everything is factual. Your doctor writes a great narrative. It's getting approved, even if your doctor says it was willful misconduct, not in the performance of duty, and intent to injure yourself or another, and you were intoxicated. Like the supervisor can say all that stuff, and you can still win your claim because the claims examiner's rolling their eyes, going, "Here we go again," and the doctor wrote a beautiful narrative that won the day. So it doesn't really matter what your supervisor thinks. Their only job is to fill out the paperwork and get the hell out of the way, and that's another criticism.
Wow.
I did that one.
I see that. Okay. Jenna, I love how management has a whole place stupid. It's frustrating. Just help your employees. My office didn't have a CA10 posted until I brought it up and pressed the issue. Good for you.
Yeah, and hey, while we're there, the form CA10 is called What a Federal Employee Should Do When Injured at Work. If you're sitting at home watching this, raise your hand if that sounds important.
Press the little like button.
Believe me, it's important. What a federal employee should do when injured at work.
Press it,
but
guys.
nobody's ever heard of it. And so in 2021, they changed the form. It used to say post on employees bulletin board. Now it says post on agency's website. But you've never heard of the form. Why are you going to go to the agency's website to look up a form you've never heard of? So it's invisible. And it has all the key things you have to do to initiate a claim.
You're getting the likes.
And if you initiate the claim, your odds of the claim getting accepted go way up.
Yeah.
But if you don't ever initiate the claim, your odds of ever getting a claim approved are 0. You've got to initiate. And the CA10 tells you, report to supervisor immediately. Fill out a CA1 or 2, get a CA16, elect COP, go choose your own doctor. I mean, those are important things. And if you knew what that form said, your supervisor wouldn't be able to get over on you as much as they do.
Yeah.
So go get a CA10. Go to federalinjurycenters.com. Click the Forms tab, OWCP Forms tab. Scroll down to Form CA10 and print a bunch of CA10s out and post those around your office and the workstations and the break rooms, because people need to know. And chances are there's somebody at work right now that's limping around, their back's hurting, they're struggling, lifting over their head, and they think that it's too late because they think that, they heard the lie that you have to report within 2 weeks or you can't, or 3 days or 30 days, you can't report an injury. Well, that's lie number 11. You have 3 years, right? So they think that it's too late. So give them a fighting chance by just giving them this one simple piece of paper, which is a CA10.
Yeah, and we're going to be bringing CA10s when we start coming to conventions now, because you guys, when we went to the NPC, we had so many people who were like, what is that?
Yeah,
literally didn't know what the CA10 was.
So I'm going to say something. Let me first say to my friends at APW, the National Presidents Council, all the presidents across the country, I'm not knocking on you, okay? You taught me something, and that's why I need to teach it to the people. The presidents of the unions, I would ask them with this stack of CA10s we had, I said, have you ever seen this? And they said, no. Well, if they haven't seen it, you haven't seen it. And it's nobody's fault because it's invisible. It's posted on agency's website.
Yeah, so now we know that not even the local presidents are seeing this form. So we're going to start bringing them when we come.
Yeah, and it's an OWCP form. It's not mine. I didn't create it. I wish I did. It's brilliant. I wish it was one of my creations. But you need it, and you need to know what's on it, okay? So get a CA10, get a bunch of them, print a stack of them, take them to work, and post them on all the bulletin boards. And when the supervisors take them down, because they're dummies, put them back up. When they take them down again, put them back up. And keep putting them back up till the supervisor is so fatigued and exhausted that they just move on to something else.
I'm going to post one after the live just so you know what you're looking at in case you just still don't know. And you can always print it off from your phone once I post it.
The bottom right corner of the form says CA10. Okay, that's how you know it's a CA10. But so hey, did everybody like this? Was this fun? I tried to add a little humor to an otherwise boring topic, but the 10 lies that you see in OWCP, and I think we'll have a future chats night where I
like
find
it.
10 more lies.
Yeah, he thought of this because normally I'm always like, oh, we need to talk about this because I'm seeing the questions come in. So we didn't really get much questions. And then he goes, well, we went over that topic already.
No,
so
normally she'll say there's a topic, and I'll find out 5 minutes before we hit go
that's true
what
too.
the topic is.
Yeah, that's true too.
And
so
you still can't stump the chump.
Right. Well, we will.
No, we won't.
So we were driving, and then I'm like,
won't,
what should we talk about in chats this week? And then I started telling him, and then he goes, no, let me think about this. And literally last night when I posted it is when he thought about it. And I was like, this is cute. Let's see how this is going to go.
All right. Mary is trying to stump the chump. Let me read this.
Hold on. Jill,
okay.
You don't have to use an attorney in your state. Federal attorneys, you can use them and you can be in another state. They go nationwide.
You can be in Florida. Your lawyer can be in Alaska.
Yeah.
No problem.
If you need an attorney, just message us after the chat.
You don't have to use the attorney we recommend. No. We're just trying to help.
Yeah.
So Mary, you were trying to stump the chump, but I'm telling you, I do math. It's one of my strongest points. She said, if your salary is $90,000 a year, for example, how do they compute your pay for 2 hours? Okay. So do 90,000 divided by 52 divided by the number of hours a week. 90,000 divided by 52 divided by the number of hours a week that you work. That's how they compute your hours. Now, if you want to know how they compute your pay when you're on OWCP, it depends on your number of dependents. It's either 67% or 75%. Now, 75% of that number is bigger than 67%, but I am not a calculator, but I can tell you how to get to it.
That's really good, babe.
Thanks.
Oh, sorry.
That's
really
math.
good.
I do math.
He does. Yes, we are going to be live tomorrow night in the Daytona office. Come say hi to us.
It's a real bummer we have to go to Daytona Beach.
Yeah, we're gonna be there tomorrow from 6:30 to 9 in the Daytona Federal Injury Center's office.
And then we're heading up to Jacksonville
Yep.
because my dad lives there and my son and nephew are there and we're going fishing.
Yep.
Grandfather, son, and 2 grandsons are going fishing.
I can't wait to see pictures.
This is like, I've been waiting for this my whole life.
Yeah, it's gonna
So
be
it's
fun
gonna be
for
fun.
you guys. Yeah. So, what else? What lies have you guys heard before?
And have you heard the 10 lies I told you? I know you have.
Yeah,
I didn't make these up myself.
No.
I've been hearing them forever.
Yeah, these are things that we hear all the time. Which the top 10 were great for start.
So I'm gonna come up with 10 more lies, and we'll do this again sometime.
Yeah.
This is a lot of fun.
All right.
And sorry, one more thing. If you have a fun topic you want me to talk about, let us know. Just send us a message on Wednesday night OWCP chats.
Yeah.
And tell us the fun topic you want to hear about, and I'll make it happen.
Yeah, we'll do the fun ones from you guys. So while you guys are thinking of some lies that you've heard of, let me tell you our July schedule. We're only home, if those of you follow me, we're only home for 9 days this month. That's it. So we are headed to Las Vegas. Excuse me, sorry. We're headed tomorrow to Daytona's opening. So if you're in the Daytona area, Ormond Beach area, come say hi to us.
Yep, can't wait to see you.
Then we head to Vegas the week of July 21st. We're going to do open house in Las Vegas.
Oh, man. Do we have to?
And we're going to head right back home because Las Vegas is going to be hot.
You can't stay in Vegas more than 3 days unless there's something wrong with you.
So all of our friends, family that are out in Vegas, we're going to be in Vegas. We'll post it with where we're going to be, and we'll let you know.
Yep.
And then the following week, the last week of July, we are headed to Birmingham to see Dr. Harper.
Oh, man. Let me tell you something.
No, can I say something first?
Who am I to tell you no?
Shush. I'm from Utah. My heart belongs to Utah. I will always go visit Utah. But Alabama, when we go to Alabama, it's such a great feeling. Like we're literally like it's the people are nice. The weather is always great.
Yeah.
We love Alabama. So we're going to be heading there. We can't wait.
So Alabama has, and I've said this, and somebody just agreed with me the other day. Alabama has the nicest people in America.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter who you are. Alabama has the nicest people in America, period. Prove me wrong. But I'm excited about that trip in particular because Dr. Harper's up there.
Yeah. And
he's got his 4 offices there and a 5th one in Mississippi. And Dr. Harper and I have become very close over the years.
Yes, you have.
He's like a brother from another mother for me. And he and I just like have phone calls just talking about like hunting and guns and just whatever.
Yeah, whatever's on his mind.
Nothing to do with workers' comp. But the thing that's really important I call him ground zero for federal injury centers.
Oh, look, love Dr. Harper.
If we didn't have Dr. Harper with us in the beginning, we wouldn't have made it past year 1.
Yeah.
He was the reason everything went because he did everything perfect. You know, this guy checks his own bills. Everything goes out. He reads everything before it goes out.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of that before. So he's the most compliant doctor on planet Earth. He's gotten more claims approved than anybody else in our system, probably anybody else that's ever existed in the OWCP, stratosphere. And he's genuinely nice and loving and has been there with me since day 1 and never left my side. So I can't wait to see Dr. Harper. So if you're in Alabama and you go to Dr. Harper's office, tell him Chris said that.
Yeah, I guess Tubby, you must be a patient. He's a great guy. They will not giving any help. Indeed, their bonuses are more. She's talking about supervisors.
Oh, yeah. I was like, oh, that's not Dr. Harper.
No, I was like, wait, what?
No, not him.
So that's where we're going to be, guys. Again, tomorrow we're going to be in Daytona, Ormond Beach with Dr. Steflik. The week of the 21st, we're going to be in Las Vegas, Dr. Hawkins's office. So those of you Vegas folks, come say hi. And then the 31st, we're going to be in Birmingham, Alabama.
Can't hardly wait.
All right. What else we got?
The only thing to make this better is if I had to be summoned to Miami. Please don't make me go to Miami.
And the best part is we get to go to Utah back to back.
And our Miami doctor,
October.
Our Miami doctor called me today out of the blue, and she said she might want some training. I was like, oh, please don't make me come to Miami.
Oh, Miami,
please,
darn.
Come on.
I thought I had something on the calendar already. We love Miami.
Yeah.
Miami is such a fun spot. If you've never been,
it's worth a visit.
listen, if you're the person to have fun, and I know there's a lot of people that don't like to go to these clubs and stuff, but if you're here to have fun and you're in Miami, go to Mango's, go catch the dinner show at least. And you can get
Yeah.
out before the club starts.
Oh yeah, and by the way, I recommend that.
Yes, go watch the show. It is incredible.
And eat the food.
Eat the food and
Yeah.
then go to Bayside.
Ugh.
Bayside has food, music, stores, indoor stores, outdoor stores, live bands. It's the best.
And we stay on South Beach most of the time and never step foot on the beach.
It's
There's
literally across the street.
It's right there. I'm like, hey, look, there's sand. We never go there. There's so much to do.
Yeah, it's fun. So
But
that's
I
our
couldn't live there.
advice. Yeah. And if you're in Alabama, Birmingham, go to Hoover. And go eat at, what is the spot? The Cajun Steamers.
Cajun Steamers in Hoover next to the mall by the movie theater. Holy cow.
If you work at Cajun Steamers, we are still going to be there every day when we're there. That's the only place we eat.
Man, when I go to Hoover, I'm going to eat there for lunch and dinner both days.
Oh, Jill said you lived in Utah. You loved it. Awesome. I'm from PG.
Yeah, that means Pleasant Grove for those of you that are not from Utah.
And Jill, yeah, you just message me after the live, and then I'll give you a number
for the lawyer.
And Tiffany said that's right.
Yep. What else, folks? Come on.
Nobody has any lies. I think, did you cover the basic one?
Nah, there's more, but I'm going to save it for another.
Send us some lies you've heard. Send us and we'll read them.
I'll add them to my next 10.
We won't say who it's from. We'll just read them. So
unless you want to.
You won't know that if it's coming from Chris or it's coming from one of you guys. All right, guys. Well, if that's it, we have a long day tomorrow.
Yep, we're going to drive to the other side of Florida, do a thing until the nighttime, and then drive another hour and a half up north to the farthest northeast tip of Florida.
Yeah, so
all right,
you're
kids,
welcome, Joe.
I was super glad having you. I was super glad to have you.
I think tonight's
this was a fun topic
was fun. This was really good.
It turns out I am a genius, like so many people say so.
Oh, I'm gonna stay.
Wait, they don't say that?
No. All right, guys. If not, we will see you guys next Wednesday.
Same bat channel, same bat time. And if you're old enough to know that, you're old.
Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Wednesday Night OWCP Chats with Chris and Gini, and YouTube at Wednesday Night OWCP Chats with Chris and Gini.
And the Breaking OWCP podcast with Chris and Gini.
Also, next Friday, we are going live for the very first time on our new podcast, The Neat and Lit.
This was her idea. It's going to be so fire, but I'm really concerned about we're going to need a parental advisory.
The Neat and Lit podcast. It's all about bourbon and cigars. And I know we talked about this a while back. So it's up. Go follow the Neat and Lit podcast and you'll see us next Friday night. It's going to be fun.
God help us all.
Yep. All right, everybody. We will see you guys next Wednesday.
All right. Have a good night.